Hey everybody, I know it's been a while since we've been on here and uploaded anything, but I wanted to just come on and kind of update everybody on how life is going, and I thought I'd do a voiceover of me cleaning. So this is our new house. I know the last time I updated you guys, we had just moved to South Carolina. We've moved again. We're now in Texas, and we really like it so far here. I know I'm going to be walking kind of in and out of the frame just because I was cleaning the house and we have stuff that kind of goes everywhere. So I'm sorry if that annoys you, but so since the last time I updated, we've actually had 2 more biological kids. So our third kid is named Jamie, and you'll see him running around. There he is right there. You'll see him running around. He is 2. And then you see me baby wearing, and that is our newest baby, and she is 6 weeks old. While we were in South Carolina, I finished getting my master's degree in clinical counseling, but 6 months before I was supposed to graduate, I found out that I had Jamie 6 months before I was supposed to finish that degree. And so right the fall of, would have been 2022, we found out that we were going to move, and we found out we were coming to Texas. And so I had taken a break because I had a baby, and I was getting ready to go back to school, and that's when we found out where we were going. But I was able to take the fall semester of that year off just to have him and then recover from having him before we had to send him to daycare this last semester so that I could finish up. And it was lucky that I could finish up. It was like God's timing perfectly, because I had just enough time to finish my degree before we moved. And if you've ever done a master's degree, you know once you get to a certain point, you can't transfer to another school. You kind of have to finish where you're at. And so we were just lucky that I got to be able to do that. But licensure varies from state to state with counseling. And so since we knew we were moving, I didn't even start the process of getting licensed in South Carolina. And because we had a 1-year-old when we moved to Texas. So I wasn't going to work to just pay for him to go to daycare. And so eventually I'll probably pursue my license for that. And when John retires, I'll probably do therapy full time. But right now, both of our older girls are, in the throes of teenage craziness. So we have teenagers and toddlers, which is just, it's like we picked both of the most difficult times of parenting to do at the same time. So it's been fun. I've got Jessica, our oldest, is learning to drive now. We were actually able to go and get her a car from one of my uncles. It's an older car, like 20 years old, and John is fixing it, and it drives now, but it needs like a bunch of suspension work and stuff. So he's doing all of that. Luckily, he knows how to do all of that. He went to school to be a mechanic, and that's how we met. Because he went to Arizona, which is where I was when I was still on active duty in the Air Force. So, in case anybody didn't know how we met, I don't know if I'd covered that before. Maybe we'll do a whole video on how we met, but it's not really complicated. So Felicity is finishing up 8th grade, and Jessica is finishing up 10th grade. Felicity is in the band at her school, and she's going to be doing marching band next year, so she's going to be really busy. And then Jessica, not only is she learning to drive, she just got her first job, and so she works at Chuck E. Cheese doing that, and she doesn't really like working there, but she likes the pay that she's getting, so that's helpful. We're really, like I said, we're really happy here in Texas. We found a really amazing church, and so after I had Emmy, our last baby, we had people bringing us meals every other day for 2 weeks, which was just so sweet. And John's parents came out to stay with us for a week after she was born. My aunt actually flew out here and was here when I went into the hospital because we decided that we were going to do an induction with Emmy because we needed somebody to be here. And if you guys don't already know, my family all lives in Tennessee in the Nashville area, and my husband's family all lives in Missouri around Kansas City. And so our closest family is 9 hours from us. And we were just praying the whole time that I was pregnant that I wasn't going to go into labor early or that I would get pushed late, because we had planned for someone to be here and we weren't really sure what we were going to do with our kids. With Jamie, when he came, my mom had come out to see us in South Carolina, and they were only 8 hours away. And her husband were staying with us, but my induction got scheduled later because I was hoping his due date was the 4th of July, and he didn't come on that date, obviously. So we were waiting around, and my mom ended up having to leave the day after he was born. And so it wasn't that bad because the girls were old enough that they could be at the house by themselves. And John would just leave overnight and go home and stay with them and then come back in the morning. But we had to do an extra day in the hospital because his bilirubin wasn't coming down and he was having a hard time breastfeeding. It was a whole mess, which eventually I can do a video about that if anybody's interested in his birth story. But I'll probably I might do a birth story video with Emmy just because I really it was really easy and I don't really want to forget too much. She's already 6 weeks old, and I feel like I was more clear with her when I had her than I was with Jamie. Like, there's stuff that I don't remember about Jamie's labor. But overall, it was really easy both times. I did not have a hard time at all. And my recovery has been pretty quick as well. Right before I got pregnant with Emmy, I was doing Weight Watchers, and I had lost like 25 pounds. And I gained all of that and a little bit more back when I was pregnant with her. So I'm probably going to go back on Weight Watchers here in a few weeks. I was going to try and wait until I was 6 months postpartum just to give myself like time to adjust and everything, because I didn't know how breastfeeding was going to go, and I didn't know how all of my like recovery and everything was going to go, and I didn't want to put that pressure on myself. But now that she's here, I feel like I'll be okay with going ahead and getting on a regimented health, kind of diet plan, if you will. And Weight Watchers, I've done it twice and it's worked for me both times. So that's what I'm most likely gonna start doing. But yeah, that's kind of where we are right now as far as literally physically where we are, and then as a family, how we're doing. We really like it here in Texas. I may try and film a formal outro to this. I don't know. We'll see. But if I don't, I'm hoping to get back on a regular recording schedule if I can. It'll be kind of vlog styles and stuff. Because the girls are older and they have friends that have access to social media and stuff, I don't know how much they'll be on here. I don't know if they'll want to be on here at all. So I don't know how much you're going to see them is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know how much you're going to see any of my kids, because I know like with vlogging and stuff you'll see them, but I think a lot of the content I'm going to start putting out is going to be more focused on like homemaking and cleaning and that kind of thing. So I know if you are a normal subscriber from previously, I know most of my content covered foster care, and we're obviously out of that phase. There are still some things that come up. There's still some behaviors that we deal with occasionally from the girls. There's still those times of year when they get a little anxious or a little nervous, but it's more in the maintenance phase now for us. Anyway, it is. I know there's so many people that have these journeys and they don't feel like they ever make it to a maintenance phase. I have a friend right now, one of her 4 adopted kids, he like keeps having to go to a like inpatient facility because he's being really, really difficult, and she's had him for a very long time. longer than the girls have been with us. So it just, if you're post-adoptive, and you're not feeling like you're in kind of a maintenance phase, I'm sorry. I'm hopeful that you will get there if that's a part of your, if that's able to be a part of your story. I know sometimes we adopt these kids and we find, you find that they're never going to be able to live on their own, or they're always going to have these very difficult mental health diagnoses that when they do move out of your house, they may not want to stay on medication, or they may not want to keep in touch, or they may have a very poor attachment style, which causes them to have personality disorders, which is very difficult. So, just know that that is a part of your journey, and that's okay. Not everybody is gonna have this perfect happily ever after. We definitely don't. There are definitely moments where it's like, okay, this is really difficult, and we just need a lot of prayer. But sorry guys, Emmy, are you gonna make it? She's like trying to go to sleep, y'all. I'm sorry. I know you can hear that, but sweet baby noises. But yeah, so if you're in that place, I'm sorry.